Hello everyone, welcome back to Valley of the Mist Block of the Month. I'm Adriane Ritter.
And I'm Shelley McNeely.
And this is our August 2023 Block of the Month. And this block is called Bento Box. And it is a log cabin variation, which I will explain to you. It's really, you make this in 4 sections. And each section is what we did earlier called a quarter, like right there, shall I point? A quarter log cabin.
This one, yes.
So, but you do the fabrics kind of reversed,
right?
Which Shelley will go into. So let's talk about fabric.
Okay, so this year we're using the focus fabric is Paint Impressions by Hoffman. And that's what you need to use if you're going to turn in your block for the exchange at the meeting. Otherwise, use whatever focus fabric you want. And then we need a white and 2 coordinating fabrics. So for this particular block, you're going to need 2 pieces of focus fabric.
Can I interject real quick?
Sure.
Just keep in mind you're making 2 sub blocks that are exactly the same, 2 different ones. So everything is
mostly twos. Yes. So 2.5 inch squares of the focus fabric.
Go there.
And then coordinating 1, which is this one. You need 2.5 inch squares and 2.5 by 4.5 inch pieces. And then for coordinating 2, you need,
which is the one that goes with the white. Well, they both have white.
Right.
Yeah.
There's also in the center.
Yeah.
So coordinating 2 has 2.5 inch squares, 2.5 by 4.5, and 2.5 by 6.5. Then for the white, you need 2.5 inch squares, but 4 2.5 by 4.5, and then 2.5 by 6.5.
Okay, so number 1, that was a lot of measurements to remember. So you can download those instructions from the Valley of the Mist Quilt Guild website, or they are included in the notes with this YouTube video.
Okay.
So it's as we learned when we did the quarter log cabin before, or half log cabin, I guess is what they call it. Half log cabin. It's an easy block to make. What's confusing with this block is keeping track of your fabrics. Mm-hmm. So the easiest way to do it would be to make
cut them all out.
Cut them all out, but to make the 2 that are exactly the same, and then make the other 2 that are the same.
Right.
That would be the easiest. But the other way, which is how I did it, was I laid in front of me my pieces, carefully looking at the picture of the block and noting where on the side the short and the long piece went. Because we're going to talk about pressing, and the pressing only works if you're adding the pieces in that same order that we show in the block. Mm-hmm. I mean, they could, like these 2 could be reversed, the order, but then the pressing would be different.
Right.
So if you want to wing it with the pressing, then, you're just building, that center corner, and you're building around it with, 2 pieces. So it's not that hard. Okay, so what I did was I laid on a mat my pieces exactly how they went, and I then I kind of chain pieced sections, right, and pressed them, and then moved on.
Right.
So what we need to do basically is build these 4 sub blocks,
and they should be 6.5 inch square each one when you're done. Right.
The pieces are not oversized, so you do need to use an accurate 1/4 inch seam or a scant. Do we want to? All right. So basically, we're going to start building. What did you want to talk about on the pressing?
Well, we could mention how we pressed it.
I thought you were going to do that.
Yeah, and then just assume you're going to assemble how we are assembling, right?
Okay, right.
Okay. So on the first, when you sew the first 2 together, when you press those 2.
Wait, let me grab a couple of pieces. So say I have So I'm building this block kind of the same with reverse color, so that'll just confuse me. So my first set is I have one of these teal greens and a focus are going to go together. And then I have a yellow and a white that will go together.
Yes. That's right.
I just have to find them.
So for these first two, press to the focus and then press to your coordinating on the other one.
So on this one I'm going to press to the focus fabric, and on this one I'm going to press to this coordinating fabric.
Right. Then when you do the second,
let me move these down.
I know.
Okay. So then the next one will be, I'm going to take, on this one I'll be putting a green piece.
I think it goes
right here.
Yeah. You press to the piece you just add.
Okay.
That piece for both color sets. The piece you just added.
So then we'll press to that one.
Okay.
And then I would be doing
the, where are we?
I have white on the green. All right, so I'm going to go white. And on this one I'll have a...
You're going to get confused, huh? Let's see.
Oh no, this,
no,
yeah.
White on the...
Yeah, this is white. And then this one now is...
Yes.
What did I do wrong?
It should be, isn't it?
Hmm.
And then you're going to add a...
I didn't have a white in the center. That was what I did wrong.
Oh.
It was like this, and then I should have added a white.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, see,
So
it's so easy to get confused.
Underneath.
Underneath.
And you add to whatever one you just added there. White one to the white one or to the coordinating one.
Right, and so then I'm going to add this yellow to this side now. And a yellow, and that will press to which way?
Press to both of these, press to whatever the coordinating one is.
Okay.
And then on the last round, you press to the coordinating again.
Okay.
Wherever that happens to work out.
All right. So those will be in the instructions.
Right.
But, and actually on the online version of the instructions on the Guild's website, I have a picture that shows the order of the pressing. So
this is going to help you when you go to put the pieces together. They'll nest better.
Yeah, because when we finally sew this block together, you've got 3 seams coming together on each side, and so this will make it so they nest.
Right.
Okay, so we're going to build those 4 half log cabin blocks, sub blocks, and be back. Well, we have our 4 sub blocks. On the instruction sheet, it's going to refer to the block with the focus fabric as sub block 1, and this is sub block 2. I would say the only thing that will really be helpful is keep in your mind the center. You know, keep them faced. After you set them out, just keep in mind which is the center.
Yeah.
And it's only hard because you have 2 small pieces at the beginning, and either one could be the center, but you know it's either a coordinating fabric or it's the focus fabric. It's not the white. The white does not go in the center.
That's true. That's true. Yeah.
Okay, so now we've got those done, and the next part's pretty easy. We're just gonna sew pairs together, the top pair and the bottom pair. Those ones, press. Okay, it's really 2 of the same thing. You know, you're sewing together 2 things that are the same, and then we're going to turn one around and make it on the bottom. So you want to press them the same. So however, if you decide to press towards this, do it with both pieces, because when it turns around, they'll now be pressed opposite, if that makes sense. So we're going to sew those 2 sets together.
Right.
Press them the same, turn one around, press sew the center seam. That one, we're going to say either press it open or press to the way it wants to go. Yeah. If it doesn't want to lay nicely, then I would recommend pressing it open. There's a lot of seams coming together there.
Right.
But
yep.
Okay, so we'll come back with our finished block. All right, so there's our finished blocks. They look great. I'm just happy, Shelley, that I didn't have to rip out anything this time. I sewed, when I did this first block, I sewed one to the wrong side, and I had to undo it.
That's why we're saying be careful how you lay them out.
Yes. I mean, it doesn't help that the picture we're working from is different than what we're telling you to do.
I know.
So, but we that you won't have to deal with.
No.
Okay, so
it's really important. You keep looking at the picture before you add something on, so you don't mess up.
Or, yeah, remember what the center is. That's the big thing.
Yeah.
The only other thing that I would say is that before you sewed these 4 blocks together, we forgot to mention that you should double check they're 6.5 inch square. If any of them are oversized,
okay.
it's okay. In the center, maybe trim them even in the center areas,
Right.
Along here. Outside, don't worry about. If they're not 6.5, this is where you need to make your adjustment for sewing these together.
Either fix a previous seam or do some scant things.
Yes, I mean, I'm not saying to use an 1/8 inch seam, but you can. When people make those postage stamp quilts, they're using an 1/8 inch seam.
They are.
A 1/4 inch is luxurious for those people. So
this is true.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So here is our. It was so funny. I was going to also suggest. You could lay these weird and look at how we were talking about with our half log cabin. They don't work.
No.
You don't get the effect because we have alternated the fabrics.
Right.
So you can't look at them like that half log cabin.
Right.
This is Bento Box. Go with it. It's kind of a very popular quilt pattern right now.
I don't want to give away what we're doing next, but this is the only one where you're piecing 4 together.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. And I will. You know what? I'm gonna reveal one thing.
Okay.
Keep your scraps.
Yes.
Our last block of the year, we are going to do one of our favorites, which is the wonky log cabin.
Yes.
And so anything goes with that.
But before that, they're super easy. So
super easy, but they do require you to sew a 1/4 inch seam.
Yes, they do.
Okay, so we will see you back here next month.